Hi, I'm Kevin from Rebuilders. If you're going through divorce, you're likely struggling with letting go, whether it's letting go of the relationship, your expectations, or the life you thought you would have. Today, we're going to explore the obstacles to letting go exercise from our divorce recovery workbook. And this is a revealing tool that helps you identify and address some of the things that are keeping you stuck. So, whether you're holding on to anger, clinging to hope for reconciliation, or finding it impossible to release certain dreams, this exercise helps you understand your specific barriers to acceptance and how to move past them. So, the obstacles to letting go exercise addresses one of the most challenging aspects of divorce recovery, identifying the hidden forces that keep you emotionally tethered to your past relationship. So, let me walk you through how this works and why it's so effective. One of the things that we see all the time is that people get stuck in this place of before they even get off the starting blocks around how do you recover. So we get stuck in a lot of different ways about what we call the obstacles to letting go. How do you actually even do this? So Bruce Fisher, when he first started this program, he found that there's a number of things that we do. And some of those things, for example, are denial, right? Denial is basically what we call the shock absorber for reality. It's this place of, I can't believe this is happening. So I see people all the time that I talk to that can relate to the idea that they're saying in their heads, I can't believe my ex is already with somebody else, or I can't believe I'm getting divorced, or this can't be happening in my life. And those are normal things to have happen, but denial is this way of, it separates us from reality because it's too hard, too painful. So that's one thing. Another one is fear. A lot of people have a lot of fear around the unknown, right? Am I going to be able to be alone? Can I afford this? How is this going to impact the kids? There's so many things that fear can impact, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But that can also be a major stumbling block for people. And then the other thing around one of the issues that people have is loneliness. When there's so much going on, we tend to retract into ourselves and not really be able to relate to others, right? I'm ashamed. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just so overwhelmed, and the idea of being around others can sometimes be the thing that prevents them from even being able to function. Those are just some of the common ones. I did a podcast where I talked about other obstacles for letting go, so I'll put the link to that below as well. But there is a lot of things around just these obstacles to get people stuck. So here's a specific example is there is a guy who came to us years ago, and he said that his wife asked for a divorce, and this was like 15 years ago. And he just couldn't believe that she wanted a divorce. And they did divorce. It took a few years to actually get the divorce to go through. And he thought, she'll be back. A few years later, she got married. And he said, you know what? She's going to find out I was the best thing that ever happened to her. And his ex-wife was married for about, I think he said maybe 6-7 years, something like that. Sure enough, she got divorced. And he said, okay, now she's going to come back. I know that she's going to make the right choice. And it was only a few years later that he finally said, I don't think she's coming back. In total, 15 years later, he realized, I think I've been in denial this whole time. This isn't something that I say these things that there's these obstacles that we have that keep us stuck for a little while. They can be for a really long time. And so it matters of when you start to recognize these things that there is a way to get through this. There is a way to heal. That's when you can recognize I need to start doing something. And it is possible. I tell people all the time, like relationships fail sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes because one person says, I've used every tool in my toolbox and nothing works. And therefore, I have to get divorced because clearly this relationship isn't going to work. What they fail to understand is that there is an entire Home Depot for relationships and tools just down the street. So a lot of times in the same way in divorce, we think I'm just going to have to suck it up. I'm just going to be an angry person, or I'm just going to suffer for a long time. And it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to keep struggling for years to get through this. It is possible to heal very quickly. So know that you can get through this. Just put in a little bit of work and the results will be well worth it. I worked with one of our students who was still emotionally entangled with his ex-wife 3 years after their divorce. And after working through this obstacles to letting go exercise, he had a breakthrough. He said, I realized I wasn't just holding on to her, I was holding on to the identity and future I had built around being her husband. Once I saw that clearly, I could actually start to release it. If you're finding this helpful so far, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more divorce recovery guidance. The letting go exercise is just one of over 60 powerful tools included in the Rebuilders Divorce Recovery Workbook. What makes this approach different is that we help you identify your specific patterns of attachment rather than offering generic advice about moving on that doesn't address your unique situation. The workbook guides you through exercises like this one that bring awareness to unconscious patterns while also providing practical strategies for gradually releasing your emotional investment in the past. I hope this explanation of the obstacles to letting go exercise gives you insight into what might be keeping you stuck. Remember, letting go isn't something you do once. It's a process of gradually loosening your grip on what was so you can open your hands to what could be. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more recovery guidance. Rebuilder's Divorce Recovery Workbook is available on Amazon, and I've put the link in the description below. It contains exercises and dozens more that together work to help you release the past and embrace new possibilities. Until next time, remember that you're not just recovering, you're rebuilding.